I won't make the mistake of attempting a third term, so says President Muhammadu Buhari. President Muhammadu Buhari has said he would not make the mistake of attempting a third term in office. The president spoke at the opening of the ongoing National Executive Council meeting of the APC in Abuja. Apart from age, the president said he was limited by the 2 terms stated in the Constitution. Meanwhile, Charles Enya, a member of the APC in Ebonyi State, who served as the organizing secretary for President Buhari's campaign organization during the last elections, has filed a suit before a federal high court in Abakaliki, seeking the amendment of the Constitution to allow the president get another term in office. The APC member described the 2-term tenure limit for presidents and governors as discriminatory in relation to the executive and legislative branches of government in Nigeria. He asked the court to prevail on the defendants to remove constitutional clauses hindering elected presidents and governors from seeking a 3rd term in office.
The guy wants to import Zimbabwe to Nigeria. I wonder. Want to import Zimbabwe to Nigeria. However,
since you mentioned Zimbabwe, of course you heard what happened recently, where the president of Zimbabwe named more than 10 roads after himself. All right, that's an aside.
I feel that I think Mr. President just didn't do justice to himself. We all know him as a taciturn, a man that does not talk too much. Lending his voice to that rumor actually will make people begin to think there's something fishy. Constitutionally, every executive, from local government chairman to governor to the president, are limited to
2 terms.
On the case of the local government, 3 years, 1 term, and 6 years, 2 term. That ends there. I feel that the young man wants to play Otto Zeribe. Remember, before this program started, we were talking about the political equation in Nigeria, and I mentioned something, and I don't know why those things always come from that side of the country. I'm not trying to be discriminatory. If the man knows that constitutionally, before he will achieve that, maybe it will be in the next 100 years to begin to go on to do constitutional amendment to ensure that executive powers, people elected to executive positions do not exceed 2 terms of 8 years.
Okay.
You understand? So it's exercise in futility. It never worked. If Mr. President says that he will not make a mistake, that means he's insinuating that somebody made a mistake. And in the case of Obasanjo has never accepted in any way that he wanted a 3rd term.
Okay. All right, but Mr. Nzukama, what is discriminatory about not going beyond the 2nd term in office?
Well, it's the law of the land, so we better respect the law. So we quarrel with the Okada man who disobeys the law. We quarrel with teachers in primary school that disobey the law. So why would the president disobey the law? So, like I keep saying, any moral or ethical revolution must start from the top and filter down to the bottom. So when the president is saying it will be a mistake, to me, it will be a monumental blunder. It will be a staggering mistake. But above all, it will be an egregious disregard of the law. You should not try it. Nobody should talk about it because it's the law.
It shouldn't even be a topic of discourse.
The president shouldn't even.
Okay. So even saying it suggests
that he has been briefed.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a breach of the law, and the president cannot break the law of the land. That's what it is.
All right, but you didn't quite answer my question, because the APC politician that went to court said it's discriminatory.
Okay.
For the president not to be allowed to go
there
forward.
There will always be discrimination in life. You're dressed with what do you call it?
Ankara.
I can't dress that like that. It's discriminatory.
Sure.
Yes, you cut your hair and colored it. Men don't color their hair like that. It's discriminatory. But it's all the discrimination.
I like it, but I don't like fufu discrimination. Okay.
So far, the law is
Bros, don't you? Let's even look at this. What is discriminatory about it?
What's discriminatory about
law itself makes it very equitable. You as an individual, you start for an election, you win. The maximum the law allows you is 2 terms. So there is discrimination doesn't come from very equitable.
The point he's saying that the legislators won more than 2 times. That's the basis of his argument.
Yes.
But there's discrimination everywhere. I go to buy a pair of shoes. I buy small size, not the big one. I've been discriminated against.
Okay, but he didn't tell us that all the organs of government should be parallel. Because if you come, even though the president is in the executive arm, we recognize him as #1 citizen.
Yes.
You understand? He's the first arm of government, the second one is legislature, the third one is judiciary. So by that pecking order, he recognizes that there is already an advantage, so to say. But by law, these guys were sworn in for one fixed term of 4 years and a possible re-election only once. So if you want to stay forever, which is why I say it's equitable, go and contest for the House of Representatives or Senate and remain here as long as you are elected by your people.
And you can also get appointed a judge and be there for life.
And be there for
Not just as their own terms.
So he didn't look at that, but I get worried when I hear certain things. The response of the president was very, very inadequate, very suspicious. I can't make the mistake. He cannot afford to do this. It's not that he can't even you cannot even think about it. Because that woman believes that if the president desires, he could do it. He cannot afford to do that by virtue of the constitution. But having also said that, when the youths earnestly ask for a batch has started, somebody is still a Kano. Daniel Kano, not Nnamdi. He's still a Kano. It was like a joke.
Yes.
And then suddenly the media started giving him hype. Suddenly it was discovered that he was being sponsored from somewhere. Suddenly he organized a 1 million man match.
The first one
that was very successful.
I thought.
And then a lot of people are blaming the militancy in the Niger Delta for that. If you remember, because some of those people who were moved from the creeks to Abuja, when they claimed they discovered that the Abuja was paradise, while their villages were swamps and oil-infested farmlands. And then they went back and said we must fight for our own self-determination and all those things. But then, back to that, Daniel Kanu started here, YEAA, as a joke. When we heard about Obasanjo's third term agenda, it started with rumors in the media and then continued growing until we started hearing that there were gathered must-go bags moving around the National Assembly. And up to today, if former Senate President Ken Naman will remain as a respectable figure in Nigerian political space, it was because of his purported stance against the third term agenda of the Obasanjo era. But it started like a joke. Somewhere in Ebonyi State, somebody is already flying a kite and blaming our constitution for being discriminatory. Even when people willfully, willingly, and of their own volition went to contest for particular offices, they had the option, they had choices. Slowly, they'll start building coalitions funded probably by the state, and then they start hiring the chairman of Enugu State chapter of this agenda, the Yobe State chapter of this agenda, and then the media it has started making front pages already. We need to be careful the type of trouble we foist on this country out of our own selfish desires. This man was organizing secretary of a campaign. If he didn't make enough money, the person who is president that he worked for, let him give him a proper office. Rather than creating wahala for all of us just because it is not something we should be thinking about now.
It shouldn't even conceive it. It shouldn't control your mind. Like Ikem said, and Mazi, you see, some of these things started like a drop of water, and it begins to gather momentum. Begins to gather. Don't forget, it didn't start from the man from a boy. There are some guys on the street who first...
Yeah, who stayed the protest in Abuja?
The protest in Abuja. On the top term stuff.
But don't you...
And again, for me, this thing would have just died a natural death if Mr. President keep mute. That's my own. You don't need to respond to such. There are some critical issues in this country that they should talk about.
Okay.